Hi, it's Tony from Becoming Tony Yoga. Thanks for tuning in. I just want to continue to go over a couple things today, see if there's some areas I can improve, and again, critique myself. I'm looking forward to it. So let's get started. Without further ado, I wanted to go through some of the basics, right? Let's see how good my downward dog looks. What does this thing look like, right? Oh. I think that a secret to this is to kind of have your arms out farther than you think you need and kind of push down. You want your heels flat on the floor, obviously, but I don't think that mine are going to make it quite there. Walk the dog, step or hop up to the top of the mat. Just come on up. I don't have like a wide angle lens, so I know you can't see my head when I stand up. So I guess I won't be doing much standing up today then. So let's see. Touch the toes. Let's go back to plank. Plank position. We can do like a plank with one leg. The other side. This one up here. Open your hips a little bit. I think this one's good if you're gonna, if you're preparing for lizard pose. You might want to warm up the hip socket a little bit before you go into that pose, because it's a lot to ask of a cold hip. Alright, I'll try this on this side. Last time I did that, I think I went into it a little too fast, and I did pull something or hurt something, so I will try to continue to warm that up a little more. I mean, always at your pace, right? If it's yoga for life, then what's the rush? You got time to get good, you know. Make sure that your alignment's good and you're not doing anything to hurt yourself. And you know what I can't wait to do? Is to go back and look, watch these videos 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and either laugh at myself from embarrassment or be proud of what I look like, or notice all my mistakes and just be in awe. Okay, let's see. What haven't I tried in a minute? I'll see if I can clear that. Oh. I know that wasn't very steady, but that's okay. So what I like to do is a warrior 3. I guess we can start in warrior 1, which is something like this. Making sure your hips are square as you can possibly make them. Arms up. I know you can't see them, but they are pointing directly at the sky. And then we'll transition to warrior 2. Important thing is to keep this knee above the ankle. Make sure you can see your toes. You don't want it too far forward. And when you transition to warrior 2, you're going to try to open up your hips as much as you possibly can. And then the transition to warrior 3. From here, up. I know I'm at the edge of the screen, so I'll scoot back a little bit. Let's scoot back just a little bit. So I don't know if I'm sure I've explained this before, but this garage is like converted into a playroom. And we've got this wonderful puzzle piece mat on the floor. But it's a great substitute yoga mat. I don't even need my yoga mat. But let's see. Okay, we're going to go to a warrior 3, right? I have my arms back like this. My knees slightly bent. And I like to think of a bowler. I think of this as like bowling. I know that if you say you're perfectly straight, okay, you're not bowling. But imagine you have this big bowling ball in your right hand. And you're kind of doing your thing and you let the ball go, right? Those bowlers, right? You imagine that, like professional bowlers, they kind of do one of these things, and then back up. That's kind of my Warrior 3. Is it a proper Warrior 3? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to win any style points for my Bolarama Warrior 3. Let's go bowling. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So while we're down here, I noticed, let's do a crow pose. See if I can I want to make it, my arms aren't that long. So I've noticed some people, they'll do a transition where they'll be in a plank position and then they'll come up and do like a standing, some kind of standing split. Then they'll bring their feet under, like seamlessly under, like somebody's slipping out a pair of handcuffs, right? Kind of one of these things, but they do that in here. I could maybe do that on my knuckles. Let's see, on my knuckles. And the reason I do my knuckles is because, like I said, my arms are rather short. So I have about an inch and a half or 2 inches, I guess 2.5 inches more clearance on my knuckles. And then we go back. And we make it beautiful. Oh. And I'll try to transition to crow pose. And I want to say this is like the side crow variation. I think I've done it before. Let's just see how well I can do it. I just kind of roll into it. And I know there's probably a more fluid way to find yourself there. But I'm just going to see what I can do. Oi. And let's see this. Let's see the other side. You always do both sides, right? You don't want to be like asymmetrical. You want perfect symmetry if possible. And I guess that doesn't really exist in nature, but you can strive for it, right? And again, I believe that's a modification to the side crow pose. Like the traditional side crow where you like slide your leg up on your hips like this. And you try not to eat it. Okay, something like that. I mean, I've struggled with that, so I'm happy to try it. Now I'm like doomed to do the other side. Now I have to. Okay. So I did that. I really want to work on my stability in a handstand. But one thing to remember is that even, and I'm probably not the best example of it, but again, I'm working through it. And to me, I see it as freedom through self-expression. I think yoga is amazing because it has, not only the health benefits that you can read about, right? But it's accessible. It's accessible to anybody of any age, any skill level. It's completely accessible. And what are the startup costs? Like, you want to go to a gym, you got to pay like the enrollment fees, and there's all these hidden costs and cancellation fees or whatever. Most yoga gyms I've been to, they're pretty reasonable. And of course, you meet the nicest people. The greatest, they have to be nice, right? They have to be. They just have to be. If they're not, then there's something wrong with the studio. But it's like anybody can do it. Like, I can do it. I can do it in my garage on this puzzle piece floor that I have, right? But all you need is a yoga mat, and really you don't even need that to get started. So I like it because it's accessible, super accessible. And also it's like you against you. You're not here competing with anybody else. You're not here trying to be better than anybody else. You're just trying to be your personal best. It's like different, as opposed to basketball or football, where it's this you're butting heads basically, and you may get the better of the person, and they may get the better of you the next time. But it's so much more mental because it's just you against you. I likened it to golf. I think it's similar because when you're playing golf, it's just you against you. You're not like actually battling somebody else. They can compare the numbers later and say who, did better, obviously. But that's up to them. When you're playing, your mind is right there. And that's another reason I love yoga so much. I'm sure there's a lot more I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, when you're in those extremely laborious poses, it's important to keep a good positive mental attitude and not struggle through it. And I noticed that when I was first doing, or even to this day when I do, I can't even remember what this is, bow pose, I guess, something like this, that when I'm holding it, I have to work really hard to control my breath, because I remember holding and being like, and that's not exactly beautiful, right? It's not exactly fluid, and you're not exactly in control. But it took me some time to build the back muscles, right? And also the lung capacity to be able to stretch and still fill my lungs with air. But anyways, I'm doing great now. I thank you so much for watching. It's been fun, and I will see you guys next week. Until next time, never give up on your dreams. Never give up on yourself.